Round 6 of the TVR Tuscan Challenge from Spa-Francorchamps, and the track dried up, and I'm joined by Ben Samuelson. Ben, it looks to me as if you've got a pretty competitive race here.
It should be absolutely spectacular. We've got some people who've raced here before, but most haven't. Ian Flux, Martin Short, John Williams have raced here before, should have the advantage, but then again, John Kent learns the tracks very quickly indeed.
Well, as you can see, Ian Flux fastest in practice. We're aboard Gavin Cooper's car, and they're away already. And you can see how tight that is. And contact there.
That's Nick Cresswell and Bob Sands' contact between the two there, but they seem to be still going. They have back hanging off Nick Cresswell's car and a lot of damage on the back, on the front of Bob Sands' car there.
Yes, Bob Sands looks to me as if he's not going to be long for this race. Here's Cresswell. And you can see the bonnet on that car is leaping about a bit too. John Kent in the lead, as we'd rather expected, the man who's dominated this championship, trying to dominate this race, but on the inside there, that was a daring manoeuvre that nearly came off. Indeed, it did come off, and Flux leads. Ian Flux in the lead, Kent in second place. And you can see how close this is as Kent comes back at Flux. Awfully wide out of there. Down a place goes number 2, Rod Gretton. And here we go back to that start, and you can see what happened. There's the contact between the two cars, and you can see the damage. And I fear that both of them might actually retire as a result of that. Ian Flux in the lead. Beautifully under control. A lot of experience, a lot of ability. And Fluxy, I would think, coming into his own here, Ben.
Absolutely. He's not had the most competitive of cars so far this season, but Flux knows the circuit very well, as does that man. Number 88, Martin Short, having a go, having a look at Steve Cole, is in second place, but no, still alongside, and there's Bob Sands. Doesn't look like his race is going to last any longer.
Now, Bob Sands with a lot of damage to the front of that car, but look at the lead that Flux has got. Holding on behind there, Steve Cole, but Cole, I think, under heavy pressure.
We're on board with Nick Cresswell here, looking ahead to the battle between John Kent and Martin Short.
And John Kent, in fact, curiously restrained here at Spa. Desperately trying to get through there. You can see the headlights behind Flux as he comes through. This new AGP engine sees these cars achieving a maximum of what on the straight, Ben?
They're probably hitting 175, 180 miles per hour at the fastest spots at Spa Circuit.
So that's quite a wake-up time. You aren't certainly going to be sitting behind the wheel of that without knowing what you're doing. This battle still going on, but the cars spacing themselves out a bit here. This is very much a driver's circuit. It's a difficult circuit.
Oh, that's Steve Cole off in a big way.
Steve Cole, a very big accident indeed there.
We're looking at John Reed going through there, manager of the Works Racing team.
And not very often do you get Cole make a mistake, which gives you an indication of just how difficult this circuit can be.
Oh, that's Matt Doman. Spins, but it looks like he's going to be able to restart.
Yes, he does. Doesn't lose a lot of time as a result of that, strangely enough. Simon Toyne. Haven't been aboard with him before.
And we're looking at Jean-Francois Bill from Paris. He travels over on his motorbike from Paris every time for each Tuscan race.
And you can see the remains there of Steve Cole's car. I think you're going to have a nice job there, I think, coming up, Ben.
Yes, I think there'll be a little bit of work to do on Steve Cole's car. Looked like a big one, but it looks like Steve is all right.
Chairman Peter Wheeler slowing, being passed there, and Peter Wheeler, it would appear, out of the race. If there are any experimental bits, Peter's perhaps the man to test them. You can see the battle here. Martin Short anxious to try and close that gap between himself and Ian Flux. And the cars have definitely spread themselves out. We're looking at the battle for 4th, 5th and 6th. Colin Blower right behind Blower and hanging on to him well there, Nick Cresswell. And then chasing Cresswell down, Rod Gretton. Aboard Cresswell, out of that little left-hand kink that has caught so many drivers out in the past. And whoops! Well, gets it pointing the right way very quickly. Rod Gretton didn't lose much time there and wouldn't have lost as much time as he has if he kept the engine running.
Yeah, Rod Gretton had been having a magnificent race, but look at that, Martin Short takes the lead from Ian Flux. Martin Short leads his first Tuscan race.
So Short there, coming past on the straight. I don't know whether Fluxy was dreaming or whether he might have a problem.
I think looks like he might have a problem. When the car's at its fastest there, it looks like Flux has just not got it there. And we're on board with Simon Toyne again, looking ahead at John Reed.
Reed being pressured, Reed being passed. Or is he? It's a brave place to do it.
Of course, Simon Toyne is another driver who has raced at Spa-Francorchamps before in the Ferraris.
And he certainly made a nice clean job of that as we watch this battle for the lead. Flux, having lost it, wants it back again.
Not a great one for giving up is Flux. I don't think we're going to see him doing anything but pressuring very hard indeed.
Cresswell. Wheels pointing in a rather different direction to that which you'd expect them to. But that was an excessive zeal with the right foot. These AJP engines now are really developing power, but the surprising thing, not surprising I suppose if you're TVR, is that they've got tremendous reliability. When you're really pushing an engine hard like this at high revs all the time, remarkable performance by not just the cars but by the engineers who developed this engine.
Absolutely, that's Martin Short there in the Station Hill garage car. A little bit sideways on the exit, but not enough so that Flux can capitalise on it.
And Flux would desperately like to come by.
We're on board with Gavin Cooper here. Oh! No, I don't think he wanted to do that.
I don't think he's any idea what he did do.
But he restarts back on with the race, says Gavin.
May have been that he missed a gear bend, but whatever it was a pretty awful piece of finishing to a good drive, which I think is going to see him out of the race, frankly. You can see the problems that he's got.
A lot of damage on that car.
And I don't think it's confined to the bodywork, because if you look underneath, there are various bits hanging off. That might be what's left of a headlight.
Looking at Rod Gretton again there.
Well, he's recovered from that moment. He's up and past and trying to pull away.
And that's John Williams behind him. And we look at Gavin's moment again there.
Well, I'm still not sure what he did, except he overdid it coming in, clipped the curb, clipped the tyres. That's what did the damage to the front of the car. And everybody missed him. Lassos, under braking. The gap closes. Under power. The gap remains the same, but then better traction, I think, for the car in front because he came out more cleanly. No question about it, Martin Short seemingly has learned the trick of driving TVRs very quickly. Bear in mind, he had his first race with these cars at the very end of last year, and that was a puff of smoke, which I think was a tyre. As here is Cresswell. Oh dear, that's awfully untidy, and any chance you had, Sunshine, of catching the guy in front, I think you can forget right now. Short. Nicely controlled using all the available road, but none of the curbs.
Of course, John Kent there, never having actually driven round Spa-Francorchamps in the dry before. And so it's a pretty impressive performance, and it looks like Colin Blower is catching him. What do you think, Neville?
I think he is. I think it's a pretty lacklustre performance too by John Kent, who's dominated this championship when he's been at home on the circuits that he knows, but has really been caught out here a bit.
And that's Martin Stewart, first race for him with the AJP engine in, catching up Simon Toyne, and Bob Sands there a lap behind, having rejoined.
Yes, Bob Sands getting back into the contest, but without any hope of real success. Up towards La Source. This is the last lap. In swings. Martin Short puts the power down now with a very respectable lead indeed. Fluxy well back in second place. The flag is out. Short wins. Flux finishes in second place. John Kent is going to come through to finish in third. Here we see the top six. Blower fourth, Cresswell and Gretton. Kent will retain his lead in the championship, but Short will be a very happy man and is on the podium. There he is, right in the middle. Watched by his sponsor's young son, a very proud young man, John Kent on the right of your picture, Ian Flux on the left of your picture. And Kent, obviously, is still retaining his lead in the championship, but Colin Blower up with a good finish there, 2.57. Martin Short, third place now. Then Cole, Flux and Creswell. That's the top 6 in the TVRs.